The year 1914 marked the beginning of a global conflict that would forever alter the course of history, particularly in the Middle East. The Ottoman Empire, once a formidable power, found itself entangled in the First World War, a conflict that would ultimately lead to its demise and reshape the political landscape of the region. On November 5, 1914, the Ottoman Empire officially entered the war on the side of the Central Powers, joining Germany and Austria-Hungary. This decision had profound implications for the Middle East, turning the region into a major theatre of war. The Ottoman Empire, spanning vast territories across Southeast Europe, Western Asia and North Africa, became a focal point for the Allied powers. Britain, France and Russia saw the Ottoman Empire as a weak link in the enemy's alliance, and its strategic location made it a prime target. The empire's control over the Dardanelles Strait, a crucial waterway connecting the Black Sea to the Mediterranean, posed a significant threat to Allied supply lines to Russia. The Ottoman entry into the war was not solely driven by allegiance to Germany. The empire had its own ambitions and grievances. The Ottomans sought to regain territories lost in previous conflicts, particularly in the Balkans, and saw the war as an opportunity to restore their diminished prestige. Moreover, they harbored deep suspicions about the intentions of their wartime allies, particularly regarding the future of their Arab provinces. The Ottoman decision to join the Central Powers had far-reaching consequences, transforming the Middle East into a battleground for competing global powers and igniting local struggles for independence and self-determination. The war's reverberations would continue to shape the region for decades to come, leaving a legacy of conflict, instability and unfulfilled aspirations. The Middle Eastern theatre of World War I witnessed a series of pivotal campaigns that spanned vast distances and diverse terrains. From the scorching deserts of Sinai to the rugged mountains of the Caucasus, the Ottoman Empire faced relentless assaults from the Allied forces, each campaign marked by its own unique challenges and objectives. The Sinai and Palestine campaign, primarily fought between British Empire forces and the Ottoman army, aimed to secure the Suez Canal, a vital lifeline for British communication and troop movement to India. The campaign saw fierce battles fought in the Sinai Desert, Gaza, and ultimately culminated in the decisive British victory at Megiddo in 1918. The Mesopotamian campaign, another crucial front, involved British and Indian forces pushing north from the Persian Gulf towards Baghdad, aiming to control oil resources and weaken Ottoman influence in the region. The Caucasus campaign, primarily fought between the Ottoman and Russian empires, centered around the strategically significant Caucasus Mountains. The Ottomans sought to regain territories lost to Russia in previous conflicts, while the Russians aimed to secure their southern borders and potentially advance into Ottoman territory. The campaign witnessed brutal fighting in harsh winter conditions, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. In the Persian campaign, British and Russian forces clashed with Ottoman and German troops for control of Persia, modern-day Iran. The campaign aimed to secure Allied access to Persian oil fields and counter German influence in the region. The Gallipoli campaign, a daring yet ultimately unsuccessful Allied operation, aimed to capture Constantinople, the Ottoman capital. The campaign involved a naval assault followed by an amphibious landing on the Gallipoli Peninsula, resulting in heavy casualties for both sides. These campaigns, characterized by their geographical diversity, strategic significance and human cost, profoundly impacted the outcome of World War I in the Middle East. They exposed the Ottoman Empire's military vulnerabilities, fueled local uprisings, and paved the way for the post-war redrawing of boundaries in the region. The Middle Eastern theatre of World War I was not merely a clash of armies, but also a battleground for competing ambitions and aspirations. The Ottoman Empire, fighting for its survival, sought to maintain its territorial integrity and preserve its diminishing power. The Allied powers, driven by strategic and economic interests, aimed to dismantle the Ottoman Empire and establish their own spheres of influence in the region. Meanwhile, various local groups saw the war as an opportunity to break free from Ottoman rule and achieve independence or autonomy. The Ottoman government, led by the Committee of Union and Progress, commonly known as the Young Turks, entered the war with the goal of regaining lost territories and restoring the empire to its former glory. They hoped to capitalize on the global conflict to reverse their declining fortunes and reassert their dominance in the region. However, the Ottoman Empire was plagued by internal divisions and weaknesses, including ethnic tensions, economic instability, and military limitations. The Allied powers, primarily Britain, France, and Russia, harbored their own ambitions for the post-war Middle East. Britain, eager to secure its imperial interests, sought control over strategically important territories, particularly those surrounding the Suez Canal and those rich in oil reserves. France, driven by colonial aspirations, aimed to expand its influence in the Levant, particularly in Syria and Lebanon. Local populations across the Middle East, inspired by the wartime rhetoric of self-determination and fueled by years of resentment against Ottoman rule, saw an opportunity to break free from the empire's grip. Arab nationalists, long yearning for independence, were encouraged by British promises of support for an Arab state in exchange for their assistance in the war effort against the Ottomans. However, these promises would prove to be largely unfulfilled, leading to disillusionment and resentment among the Arab population. The end of World War I in 1918 brought about the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire and a dramatic redrawing of the political map of the Middle East. The victorious Allied powers, guided by their own geopolitical interests and wartime agreements, carved up the former Ottoman territories, creating new states and mandates that would shape the region for decades to come. The peace settlements, including the Armistice of Mudros, the Treaty of Sèvres, and the Treaty of Lausanne, formally ended hostilities and outlined the post-war order in the Middle East. However, the peace process was fraught with complexities and contradictions, often failing to address the aspirations of the local populations. The Arab populations, who had been promised independence in exchange for their support against the Ottomans, felt betrayed by the Allies' decision to impose mandates in the Levant and elsewhere. The Sykes-Picot Agreement, a secret pact between Britain and France, revealed the Allies' true intentions to divide the region into spheres of influence, further fueling Arab resentment and distrust. The establishment of mandates, particularly in Palestine, Syria, and Iraq, sowed the seeds for future conflicts. The Balfour Declaration, a British statement of support for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, added another layer of complexity to the already volatile situation, igniting tensions between the Jewish and Arab communities that would escalate in the decades to come. The legacy of World War I in the Middle East is one of unfulfilled promises, artificial borders, and unresolved conflicts. The war's end did not bring peace and stability to the region, but rather ushered in an era of new challenges, power struggles, and instability that continue to resonate today. The arbitrary borders drawn by the victorious powers, coupled with the unaddressed grievances of the local populations, created a fertile ground for future conflicts and instability, the echoes of which can still be felt in the Middle East today. Our ancestors gazed upon a night sky brimming with stars. They told stories about the constellations. They navigated by their light. Today, a new kind of star dots the heavens: satellites. These technological marvels connect us across continents. They beam information around the globe at lightning speed. But at what cost? The number of satellites orbiting Earth has skyrocketed. This rapid proliferation is transforming the very nature of our skies. The satellite revolution is driven by companies like SpaceX with its Starlink constellation. Starlink aims to provide global internet access. It's an ambitious goal with potentially enormous benefits. Yet as we race to build a more connected future, we must ask ourselves, are we jeopardizing the health of our planet in the process? The answer, emerging from recent scientific studies, is a resounding and unsettling perhaps. Every rocket launch spews exhaust into the atmosphere. This exhaust contains pollutants like carbon dioxide and black carbon. These greenhouse gases contribute to climate change. They also deplete the ozone layer, our planet's fragile shield against harmful radiation. As the number of launches increases, so does the atmospheric burden. And it's not just the launches. When satellites reach the end of their lives, they re-enter the atmosphere. This process causes them to burn up, releasing metals like aluminum into the air. These metallic particles also contribute to ozone depletion. A single satellite might seem insignificant, but multiply that by tens of thousands. and the cumulative impact becomes deeply troubling. Recent studies have shown a direct correlation between satellite re-entries and increased atmospheric aluminum concentrations. The scientific community is sounding the alarm. In 2024, a group of over 100 scientists penned an open letter. This letter urged the Federal Communications Commission to hit the pause button on mega-constellation launches. They called for comprehensive environmental reviews before any further deployment. The scientists' concerns stem from a growing body of evidence. Studies revealed that the metallic particles released from burning satellites can disrupt Earth's magnetic field. This disruption could have unforeseen consequences for our planet's delicate climate system. Moreover, the rapid increase in space debris significantly raises the risk of collisions. These collisions could trigger a domino effect, creating a cascade of debris that could render space unusable for future generations. The Federal Communications Commission, responsible for regulating satellite deployments, has so far excluded them from environmental reviews. This decision, made when satellites were far less numerous, now seems dangerously outdated. The potential for irreversible damage to our atmosphere is too great to ignore. We stand at a crossroads. The choices we make today will determine the fate of our planet for generations to come. We must proceed with caution, prioritizing the long-term health of our planet over short-term technological gains. Pausing mega-constellation launches and conducting thorough environmental reviews is not about stifling innovation. It's about ensuring that our pursuit of progress doesn't come at the cost of our shared future. The stars have guided us for millennia. It's time we start listening to what they and the scientists who study them are telling us.